Powerful people are never liked. This default setting of power works against you from the start. Gaining power isn't enough. You need to learn the ruses to keep your power when you are met with envy and competition. Before we dive into this video, if you haven't already, check out my earlier video on how to gain power in life and build your network of power. That video lays the foundations for understanding power dynamics, what it is, how it operates, and how you can gain it. You'll be able to understand this video better with that context. Let's start with a quick recap. Power flows from value. Economically, this could mean having in-demand skills or knowledge that command a high salary and position. Socially, competence gives you authority. You become the one people consult or follow. But here's a catch. Power isn't static. Even if you gain it, you can lose it if you fail to maintain the value that granted it to you in the first place. Think of the Peter principle, which is what happens when companies promote employees into leadership roles based on their job performance rather than their leadership skills. These people may hold power temporarily, but without the value of true leadership, they eventually fall. With enough value, dynamic power structures will change and rigid ones will break. But once they do, and you become the source of value for other people, others will want to take your place. So how can you ensure that you remain powerful for as long as you want? Keeping your power ultimately boils down to this one principle. Make others want you to remain in power. This is simpler said than done. Deep down, the people around you don't like the fact that you have power. No one likes to depend upon someone else, and everyone is envious of power. Powerful people are never liked. This default setting of power works against you from the start. To compensate for it, you need to justify your power. Justifying your power means showing people that you are competent in your position and therefore that you can help them better. Showing competence will make others want you to succeed. Therefore, your ultimate focus should be to serve. If you use your power to solve problems and help others, you will automatically gain approval and support. As you do this, you should be wary of the worst enemy of the powerful: arrogance. If you let power get to your head, you will start to think that power is about you. Power is not about you. Power is about solving problems for everyone, about offering something that others can't do without. If you lose sight of the true nature of power, it will leave you. Whenever you feel the temptation to get arrogant, remember that you keep your power by watching and shaping its hidden dynamics, not by boasting about your position. The best way to stay powerful is to serve and observe. You serve others with your competence and you quietly observe the flow of value in your network to make adjustments as needed. At the same time, being good isn't enough. As Niccolò Machiavelli reminds us, any man who tries to be good all the time is bound to come to ruin among the great number who are not good. Hence, a prince who wants to keep his authority must learn how not to be good and use that knowledge or refrain from using it as necessity requires. Goodness is going to help you keep your power and use it to benefit many, but it isn't enough in order to gain power. Take the example of a good king who lost his kingdom to a tyrant. He will need to fight in order to gain back the kingdom, and only once his rule is restored can he be good and serve his people generously. Thus, your ability to do good depends on your power to act. The famous quote, "With great power comes great responsibility," tells us that power necessitates goodness and maturity to wield. But this quote also hides another very important meaning. With great responsibility comes great power. Responsibility is the root of power. If you're responsible for something, it means you are in charge. A job, a profession, a family role, all these entail some type of responsibility and some type of power. Before being good, you must be responsible for something. Step up to solve problems, offer something valuable that others depend on. That's the fight for power, a fight not to dominate, but to take charge of responsibility. It is the only fight you should be concerned about. If you're responsible for something that people value, you will have power. Once it is established that you can fulfill that valuable responsibility, you can start being good to the people around you. There is ultimately one quality that determines whether power will build your legacy or lead to your downfall. Take Marcus Aurelius and Nero as two contrasting examples. Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's 5 good emperors, approached power with humility and service. His altruism and philosophical grounding shaped him into a leader who served not just his empire, but also future generations through his wisdom. He wasn't trying to leave a legacy, his character naturally created one. Now look at Nero, who saw power as a tool for personal indulgence. His ambition led to chaos and his cruelty to death and destruction. The difference? Altruism versus selfishness. Whereas Nero acted for himself, Marcus Aurelius cultivated a genuine concern for others. By bringing value to people without seeking personal gain, he not only retained power, but extended his influence to us thousands of years later. Altruism and selfishness are prisms through which we see the world and our role in it. If you cultivate a genuine, disinterested concern for others without any desire for personal gain, power will stay with you naturally because bringing great value to people will be second nature. Power and goodness, when balanced, don't just make you a great leader, they make you unforgettable. We began this video with the question, how can you keep your power despite the envy and competition that you face once you gain it? The answer lies in these three simple pillars. Assert responsibility. Make people want you to succeed, and lose selfishness. Please consider donating or subscribing if you found this video helpful, and make sure to share it with whoever might benefit from it. Thank you for watching, and until next time.